Good morning and welcome to your first lesson on saxophone. Today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to remove it from the case without damaging it, how to put it together, how to take care of your reed, how to hold it, and how to make your first notes on the saxophone and then put it back away. So before we get going, you want to make sure you already have your saxophone. We've got it right here. I'm going to open it up on my lap so I can demonstrate, but you want to make sure that you open it up with the case flat on the floor, on a table, on your bed. We just don't want it to fall and have something accidentally happen to your very expensive instrument. So make sure it's, again, flat on a bed, on a floor, or on a table so that you can open it safely. Now, a couple things to know about with your case. You're going to see there's a thicker end on the bottom and a thinner end on the top, and your latch you should be lifting up. If your case is upside down, you'd be pulling your latch down, and if you do that, you're going to open it up upside down and everything's going to fall out and go all over the place. We don't want that to happen. So make sure you've got it where the latches lift up. So lift your latches up, and then when I open it up, you're going to see a few things inside. You're going to see your saxophone, you're going to see hopefully some reeds, your mouthpiece, your ligature, a neck strap, and a cleaning tool. So now I'm going to set it down and pull out the different parts and show you. Just set it over here on the table. So the first thing is you have your neck strap, and that's the first thing you want to put on. The first time you do it, you want to leave it kind of loose. And you might need a little help from your parents with this part when we get to that. But throw the neck strap right around your neck. This one's not the greatest neck strap. You'll see it's just a piece of material. You might want to go out, and maybe one that came with your saxophone has a nice pad that goes around your neck. You can also go online or go up to the music store and purchase a little more comfortable neck strap. This is not the best one, but it does work. So inside your case, you're going to see your main saxophone. You're going to see your neck. You're going to see your mouthpiece. You're going to see your, it's called your ligature. You might see one that's metal. Let me see if I have one here. It will look more like this, and it'll have two screws underneath it. Some of the ones that come with your sax, you'll see this, it looks more like this with just one screw. There's no right or wrong type to have. They both work just fine. And then you will hopefully see some reeds, and you will see some cork grease, and you will see your cleaning tool. So those are the things you will see inside your case. So the first thing you want to do is you have a cork right here. So the very first time you play it, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take some of that cork grease, and you're going to want to just put a little bit on there. If you have some Vaseline at home, you can use some Vaseline and just put some on your finger and just rub it in. You do not need to put very much, and you're putting it all around that cork. What that'll do is when you go to put your mouthpiece on, where did I put the mouthpiece? Where did I put the mouthpiece? There it is. When you have your mouthpiece, kind of slide it and it'll go on really nice and easy. Now, the way you put your mouthpiece on is, again, I'll do it one more time. Take your mouthpiece, put it over the cork, grab where there's little amount of key, so I'm kind of grabbing at the top, and I'm just kind of twisting it. And you want it where there's just a little bit of cork sticking out below. For some of you, there might be a little bit more, and for some of you, there might be very little, but you want to get it where there's just a little bit of cork sticking out. Now, what you'll notice on your mouthpiece, there's a spot with a hole in it on the bottom side. That needs to go down. Down is towards the curve here. So you'll see if I hold it up, if you see this little line right there, that little line, it should form a straight line with that hole in the reed. So if you see right now, it's kind of sideways. We want it to form a straight line. So let me make sure that's a straight line. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now we're going to take our reed. Now your reeds, you want to be very, very, very careful. Your reeds have a real skinny part and a real thicker part. This skinny part is very, very easy to break. And at first, you might go through a couple just accidentally because you're just not used to working with it. But you want to be very, very careful with that. Now, I will supply reeds, so anytime you need more reeds, just come and see me and we'll take care of it. Feel free to go up to the music store and buy some. You can get them in big boxes. They'll actually sell reeds in boxes that you can get like this, so you have a lot of them. If that's something you want to do, go right ahead and do it. But anytime you need reeds, just come in and see me and I'll get some for you. So you'll notice on the reed, there's this bumped up part that kind of starts low and then kind of comes up a little bit, and then the bottom part is completely flat. The flat part is what goes against your mouthpiece. So you're going to just stick it against the mouthpiece, and you want it where the top of the reed kind of matches the top of the mouthpiece. You don't want it sticking way up like that where you can see a ton of reed above it, and you don't want it really low where the reed ends way down below. So you kind of want it in the same area. And then you take your ligature, and you'll notice on your ligature there's a narrow end and a taller end. The taller end will go on first. So let's see if I can get that really good. So this is the shorter side and this side is the taller side. The taller side will go on first. Be careful that you don't hit your reed as you're putting it on, because that will damage the reed. And you slide it on, and then you will tighten it up. Tighten that screw right up. Now we're going to adjust that reed. You want to adjust the reed, see if it's nice and lined up on both sides. It's not like pushed way off to the side like that. You want to make sure when you're looking straight at it, you can see just a little bit of black over the top of the reed. I can see just a little bit of black. I believe, yep, there we go. Good shot in the camera for that. You don't want it way down where you see a big gap between the reed and the black, the top of the mouthpiece. And you don't want it where you see no black, and if I turn it the other way, you see reed sticking out. You want just a little bit of black showing, not too much. And then you tighten that screw up. Again, you don't have to sit there and really tighten that screw tight. You just want to make it so nothing is moving around much, so it's nice and still. Then you take the main body of your saxophone and you just slide this right in. And what you'll want is it so the sax is facing away from you and the mouthpiece is coming right towards you. There are two ways to hold the saxophone. There's no right or wrong way on either one of these. It's just whatever's more comfortable for you. You can have it where it's coming straight up and in. However, there's another way you can hold it where the sax sits off to your side. And this is fine too. But if you do that, now you'll notice the sax is coming in angled. You don't want to take your head and tilt it like that to play it. That's one, really uncomfortable. And two, it's not very good for your airflow when you start playing. So what you'll have to do is turn your mouthpiece so it comes straight in. So when you play, you can look straight ahead and the mouthpiece comes straight in. Me, I prefer it straight in front. That's just my comfortable spot for me. Okay. So now that we have the saxophone all put together, you're going to notice on the back of the saxophone there's this little eye hole. Some may look a little different than that, but you will see a little eye hole. That is where your neck harness goes through. Some of you might have a clip. Now, this is what holds the instrument. The neck strap holds it. I'm just kind of keeping it in place, but the neck is what holds it. Your neck is a lot stronger than your hands, so put the weight of the instrument on your neck. Now, at first when you play it, if I let the neck strap hold the whole instrument and I bring it in, it's coming in way, way below my mouth. So what I need to do is tighten this up a little bit so that when it comes in, the instrument is coming right into my mouth. And you want to make sure it's not too tight or the instrument's hitting you in the forehead or the eyes. It'd be kind of hard to play when you're doing that anyways. But you want it where that mouthpiece is coming right into your mouth. You don't want to be scooting forward, lifting up, looking down to get it. You just want to be looking straight ahead. So it's a little tight. It's a little playing around at first, but once you set it, your neck strap should stay in the same spot every time. So once you put it on, you'll be just good to go. There we go. And it makes it so now that my neck is holding the instrument. So how you actually hold the instrument. Your right hand goes on the bottom. your left hand goes on top. A lot of people like to put their right hand on top, especially if you're right-handed. You're used to your right hand being at the top of things. But on the saxophone, your right hand is on the bottom. And what you'll notice is there's this little thumb hook here. That's right where your thumb goes. And then if you bring your fingers around, what you'll notice, let's see if that's on camera. Ooh, let's turn that a little bit. There they are. You will see three finger keys right here that have the whites on them. Your fingers will go right on those whites of those finger keys. So my thumb will go back behind, and then on that first white spot, circle, or pearl, your first finger will go. On the second one, your second finger will go, and on the third one, your third finger. And then your pinky will just kind of sit on top of these other two keys. You can just kind of let it hang loose for right now. So it's your thumb on the back, your first finger, second, third, and pinky. This hand is pretty easy, and it's pretty comfortable. Now I'm going to undo the strap so it's a little easier to show. Now your left hand takes a little bit more practice. You're going to see on the very back of it there's what's called an octave key, and then you'll have this black pad. Some of you it might be gold, might be silver. That's where your left hand thumb goes. So my thumb is going to sit right on that. And then on the front you're going to see the very top white key. You're going to skip that one. So your finger is going to go on the second one. Then you'll see this little teeny white one. Your finger is going to skip that one. Then the very next key your finger goes. So skip one, finger, skip one, finger, finger. So thumb on the back, skip the first white one, finger, skip the next one, finger, finger. Or it's kind of your second, third, and fourth of your big white keys. That's where your fingers go. So when I'm holding this properly, so I've got my thumb on the back, skip one, finger, skip one, finger, finger, thumb on the back, 1, 2, 3. And then when I bring it up, everything's in the exact right position. You want to make sure you're sitting up nice and straight. You don't want to make sure you're slouched over or leaning to the side or have your arm on an armrest, any of that stuff. You want to be sitting up nice and straight. Now, we are on to the fun part, making your first sound on the saxophone. Oh, one thing I forgot to show you. I can't believe I completely forgot that. When you put your neck piece in, see right now it kind of moves around. Let me get it where I want it. When you get it where you want it, you're going to have a little screw up here. Just tighten that up. Not, again, just like your mouthpiece, don't wrench it way down and make it super tight. Just a little bit, and now you'll see my neck piece is really hard to move. And if you find it still moves a little easy, just tighten it up a little bit more. That keeps it so the instrument doesn't move around as you're playing it. Alright, so I'm going to loosen that up because I want you to take your neck out. Sounds kind of weird taking your neck out. So we're going to work on making a sound just on this. So you're going to curl your bottom lip in like an old man or an old woman, and then you're going to use your teeth on the top. Now on your mouthpiece, I'm going to set the sax back in case while I show this. On your mouthpiece, you want your teeth to go just a little ways up it. You don't want your top teeth to be here, and you don't want to be eating the mouthpiece by having most of the mouthpiece in your mouth. It's going to be really hard to make a sound if you go too far out or too far in. So you want your teeth just about 1/4 of an inch up a little bit. So if I kind of made a little line going across, it'd be hard to see, but you want your teeth just a little ways up. And then your bottom lip curls in. And then you put the mouthpiece in. You get ready to take a nice big breath. Make sure when you breathe in, you don't raise your shoulders way up high. You want your stomach to go out, not up, out. So you'll see that my stomach went out instead of my shoulders going up and tightening up and pinching everything off. So we're going to put that in, teeth on top, curl that bottom lip in, nice big breath. And we're going to get a nice sound through that. So you're going to make sure your mouth closes around the mouthpiece when you blow. And it might take a lot of air to get that first sound out, and it might be really loud. If you find you're not getting a sound out, put even more air through it. So you want to make sure you're filling up that room you're in with your sound. So I'm going to do this again. So curl that bottom lip in, teeth on top, big breath, stomach out, not shoulders up, and put that air through it. That's what you want to get it good at first. Once you become really, really good at that, now we're going to take the saxophone out. We're going to put this piece back in. Get it all lined up. We're going to tighten that screw up so that neck doesn't move around on me. I'm going to clip this back in. Thumb goes on the back, first, second, third finger. Thumb goes on the back on that little thumb pad. Skip a key finger, skip a key finger, finger. So when I'm holding it, it looks just like this. Now that we're ready to make a sound on the actual saxophone, I only want you to push your first finger down. I want you to leave your other fingers up just a little bit. Don't leave them way off. We don't want our fingers to come way up and off the keys. Just want them still touching the keys but not pushing them down. So the only key I want to push down is that first finger key. So I'm going to curl that bottom lip in, teeth on top, just like I did on the mouthpiece. And I'm going to blow. I need to tighten this up just a little bit. So I'm going to do that one more time. So let's try that one more time. I want you to work on getting a really big sound, just like I was talking about with playing a note on the mouthpiece. I want you to work on filling that room with your sound. So we're going to do it one more time. So you curl that bottom lip in, teeth on top, and just that first finger pushed. Big breath, remember, stomach out, not up. There we go. There's the first sound on your saxophone. Woo! What I want you to practice at first is taking it out of the case, putting it together, getting used to making a sound out of just the mouthpiece with the neck on, then putting it in and making a sound with the whole instrument, and then taking it apart. So putting it away works exactly like you put it together. You undo your neck strap, pull that off, put that away. We're going to undo the screw here, lift that up, and then we're going to put our main body back in the case. We're going to undo the screw for our ligature and lift that off carefully so that the reed doesn't fall off. Now, a lot of times you might get in a hurry, and what a lot of people will do is they'll pull the mouthpiece off with the reed and ligature still on it and just set it in the case. What happens to wet wood when it sits and can't dry properly? It gets really nasty and eventually it gets really moldy. So we don't want that to happen. So you want to make sure you always take your reed off and you put it away in the special case that you have for your reed. It might be a clear case, it might be a special double case like this one. But you just want to slide your reed in and put it away. That case will help the reed properly dry so it doesn't get all nasty and moldy. Then you take your mouthpiece off. Some of your cases have a little special little section where your sax neck can go and rest in there. If not, you just set it in the little pouch. Some of you might have a case that slides over your mouthpiece. You want to slide that case on your mouthpiece and put it away. Then you close it up, latch it up, and you are good to go. I want you to work on practicing taking the instrument out of the case, get used to putting it together, get used to making a sound on the mouthpiece, getting used to making a sound on the instrument and putting it away. That's what I want you to work on practicing for your first week. And the next day or so, or maybe even later today, I will actually have the first page in your book lesson up. So I'm really hoping to have that up later today. If not, I will have that up next week. And then you can start working through your book. I hope you enjoyed your first lesson on the saxophone.